Well, my name's Rhett. This is Ashley. This is our rig Eve. She's a 1997 Ford E Super Duty. It's basically a 450.
Welcome to our home on wheels. Well, welcome to Inside Eve. A lot of people use this top area, the grandma's attic, for the bed, but we had our own reasons of being both of us almost 6 feet tall, Rhett 6'4". That was not going to work for us. So when you're living in this small of a space, you need to use your space very wisely, and we have 2 dogs, so us using this space wisely was making a doghouse. So the whole dogs get this whole area, and it might seem like a really big area to give them, but it actually works out perfectly because they have their own space, they go in it, and they kind of stay in it all night, so it keeps some of the dog hair in this corner.
Ruka, come here. Come on up. Manny, you want to come up too? Show them how much you love the top. All right, so as with a lot of things in here, you'll see on this, a lot of this wood is either reclaimed or old stuff that was going to be thrown away that I'm too cheap. I'm one of those people, I see materials. I'm not necessarily a hoarder, but when I see like a good piece of plywood, I'm like, that's a good piece of plywood. You can't throw that away. You got to do something with it. So a lot of the stuff in here was built with reused stuff. The stairs being a prime example of that. This is where we keep all of our freshwater storage. We got, I think, 6 or 7 of these. So like 42 and just that. And then underneath this stair is where the sink's at, and another 10 gallons behind there. It's run off a little 12-volt pump, and I'm kind of a tinker. Built these things that go on battery packs. It's just a buck converter. It drops it down to 12 volts. You got your old Yamaha MIDI pedal here, so it doesn't matter where it's at, it's wireless. Same type of system, we use it for our showers outside and all that type of stuff, so that you can use minimal water but you still have your hands free to do the dishing or the washing with the dishes and stuff.
When we first moved in here over a year ago, we didn't have any sort of sink. We were brushing our teeth with water bottles, and I think I begged him, please give me a sink, and as soon as that was, it started feeling like a home to me.
Realistically, 4 of these jugs full last us 2 or 3 weeks, no problem. We don't, we try to be real minimal with the water. We're usually showering somewhere else. We only shower here if it's an emergency. Bathroom, same type of thing. It's somewhere else. We brush our teeth and we wash our face and stuff with a sink, but do that and some of the dishes we do in here, and that's about it. This is another thing. This was reclaimed off of this giant junk pile that we're in. For anybody who is new to van life, if you've got metal in your van or in your truck or whatever, magnets open up so many options of things you can do. They fix so many problems, and this is one of those problems. It already had a magnet in it, but it wasn't a very good one, because anytime we take a corner, this would open up and everything would just dump out of it. If you throw a little hard drive magnet on there, you can go over some bumpy roads. This is we got another one on that side. It's for hanging up a hammock. So you can hang up a hammock when you're sitting down in the Keys and you're trying to get that Instagram photo that everybody gets. I'm just looking out the back door. This is what it looks like every day. You know, that type of stuff. But I slept in a hammock for many years, so it's nice to have that for relaxing in sometimes.
So, welcome to our kitchen. Small, but it has everything we need. Now, a lot of people will do kind of a built-in here. Rhett actually had this. This is a medical cart that he had turned into a toolbox, which is now our kitchenette. So it's had on its 3rd life now, and I'm hoping that it does us well and it will stay happy here. But we've got everything we need in here, from silverware to an induction plate to spices. We have the much needed junk drawer, which every good house must have. On the middle here, this is kind of our cups, our bowls and plates, stuff that goes in or on the body, so lotions, vitamins, things like that. And the big guns, kitchen stuff, Instapot, blender, things like that, some storage. And on the bottom here is just our pantry style stuff, so cereals, breads, things like that. We keep our cans on the side here, and cleaning supplies on the bottom. So this little thing Rhett got also reclaimed wood from, I believe, just out in the back on our property here, but put some tung oil on it, and honestly I think this is the prettiest surface we have in Eve. And he can roll it right out. I say he because I can't handle that. And we can cook outside anytime we want, which we have done a couple times for breakfast for scrambled eggs or omelets. But I think this little area, I painted the front here to try to bring some color in here. So it's kind of a good focal piece for us. So Rhett commissioned I believe a Russian artist. He's more of a Star Wars nerd than me, but he's gotten me into it. I've watched all of them all the way through with him. We're watching Mandalorian now. And he commissioned a Russian artist for maybe our second or third year together for my birthday. And it's one of my favorite pieces, so it had to be our focal point here with some appropriate quotes around it, but that's us.
So when I was about 30 years old, I had a couple of kind of small businesses going for myself, and I was doing pretty decent as far as finances and stuff goes, but I just wasn't really happy with my life. You know, I won't say I was upset or anything, but it was just like, oh, is this all there is to it? And I'd always wanted to travel, and my dad, who was one of the, I would say, straightest shooting square people that you could ever meet. He was like, if I was you, I'd hop on that motorcycle of yours and just start traveling around. I was like, that's not a bad idea. And so I did that, and I did it for a good 3 or 4 years straight. And so I quickly learned how much happier I was having less stuff. All I had was 3 backpacks that I could fit on the back of my bike. You know, a couple pairs of clothes, some little camping tools, a tent and some sleeping pad and stuff like that. And just the amount of life that I was able to extract out of those few years just felt so exponentially more than what I was getting before. I was like, this is how I want to live. When we first got this van, it was a lot of work to pull all the walls out, the ceiling, the door, and all that. This is not the original wood that was on here. This is actually some of the new stuff that's in here. This is Baltic birch. You got 1/2 inch on the walls. This is Chinese stuff, ain't too great, but I couldn't find anything thin that was nice to put on the ceiling, so I got some Chinese 1/4 inch plywood. Above this, you have 5 layers of 1/2 inch rigid poly. This is like the 3/4 inch stuff, but basically this. Walls have got a 1.5 inch, and underneath the floor is some 2 inch stuff. So it is insulated all around. That being said, the entire outside shell, other than the floor, is all aluminum. So before we did any of that, this thing would turn into an oven. Aluminum just transfers heat like it's nobody's business. The nice thing though is that we're in Florida, where everything likes to rot and go bad, and aluminum just doesn't go bad. This over here is my brainchild. I'm quite proud of it. We wanted a standing desk in here. She has a Varidesk that she uses in her office, and she liked it a lot, and I was like, I like this idea too, but it takes up a whole lot of space, and we got to figure out how to do this without taking up a bunch of space. And this is the solution we came up with. So that hangs up there like that. All of this stuff can be had at Home Depot for the most part. There's a couple things in here that are custom, like some little 3D printed slides for these T-tracks. I put V-groove bearings in these and these because it was too much friction before. But other than that, it's all pretty much off-the-shelf stuff. You can go to any height you want. And you can just pull it right back up. And one of the cool things about this is it does take a little bit of muscle to pull that up, but if you're somebody smaller or weaker, you can pull up just one side at a time, and the whole thing still stays nice and level. It ain't the prettiest thing in the world, but it was the best solution I could come up with on a short notice. I forget what these things are called, but they use them on CNC tables to hold all the wires, and it basically just holds the power wire for this off to the side, so when this goes up and down, it doesn't get caught. And we just got a power strip there with a little Apple TV. This is our entertainment system. It primarily gets used at nighttime, and it'll come down like so when the bed's here, and we get to lay in bed and watch TV on like 6 watts of power, so it's very energy efficient.
Our shoe storage here, I would say there wasn't a lot of things that I was frivolous or had a lot of when we lived bigger, other than shoes. Shoes, I'm kind of a shoe fiend, and I had to kind of dig deep to get rid of the ones I didn't need. But I had this shoe storage previously in an apartment, and it fit perfectly here. It kind of fits everything, his and mine, so I did downsize. But it's really, honestly, I mean, other than kind of being a little bit of an eyesore and right by our door, doesn't get in the way, but it's perfect for what we need. We do have our boots, as you can see, kind of, those don't fit in, but other than that, it fits everything we need. And this is kind of our little shoe mat also. So this is the mat we kind of don't consider carpet, and we can wipe off our shoes and just throw it in the washer or something like that. But this is kind of our little mud room. So welcome to our bedroom slash living room. As Rhett mentioned before with the TV, sometimes when it's in bed mode, so this is a full queen bed. We actually used it in our apartment previous to moving in here. Rhett took a bread knife, to my dismay, and just basically cut our bed. So this is a full twin, and then this is just the leftover. So it fit on the futon that he bought on Amazon for I think $100. At first we were going to do, we see a lot of van lifers and stuff do a really cool slatted pull-out thing. So we were thinking about doing that, but Rhett found this cheap thing on Amazon, and we just figured let's try it. And we've been in here over a year now, and it's worked great. It's pretty low weight. It's sturdy. It does everything we need. So the big thing with not having that slatted out or a bench kind of storage was, what do we do with all of our stuff? So as you'll see behind our patriotic flag here is all of our bed storage and a little bit of miscellaneous. So hats, my blankets, his blankets. Rhett's a fan sleeper. I'm not. So this goes on his side on top of him, doesn't touch me. And again, with the magnets, each of these little strips here is magnetic. So we use it for everything from functional to decorative, and it works perfectly.
So, I sewed this sheet. This is the cheapest, I think, cloth material you can possibly buy. I'm not a seamstress, I'm not a whatever, so don't zoom in too good on the seams, but it does the job. Its main job is to hide all of our stuff behind here. This is, for all intensive purposes, I would guess you would say, our closet and kitchen, kind of. We've got pretty much all Ashley's stuff right here, and this top section is mine. And down here you got the refrigerator, dog food. I'll open this up a little bit later for you. I'll show you the battery in there, and behind that's all the electronics for the battery, microwave, some Bluetooth speakers, some of my just miscellaneous stuff up there along with that. The shelving is another thing that I had a fight with Ashley a little bit on. It is definitely hideous. I will cede that point, but this type of shelving holds a lot of weight straight downwards. I think each shelf is rated for like 600 pounds or something like that. So it can hold the type of weight that you want it to hold. And we just got it literally tied to the wall with some fancy knots. If you study some Boy Scout stuff, a couple of knots will take you far in life, and that's one of these things. So as far as power and the fridge and the microwave go, we've got a ridiculous amount of solar on the roof. We've got a pretty good sized battery. I think it's like 7,000 or 8,000 kilowatt hours. The refrigerator, my brother who's in the solar industry turned me on to this way of thinking. We were considering putting in like a $1,200 Dometic, I was like, we're gonna go energy efficient on this. He's like, the extra money you spend on that super nice refrigerator could be spent on more battery or more solar panels or whatever, if you've got space for it, of course. But that's the route we went with it.
So with me, he came 2 dogs, so the motorcycle thing really wasn't possible anymore. And Rhett is also, as he mentioned, a tinkerer. The lifestyle, he just likes to see what he can do with as little as possible. So we had found this, or he had found this truck for $3,000.
Yep.
In Texas, and it was bare bones. We had to strip it all.
Dirty underpants on the floor. It was nasty.
It was gross.
What's happening here? Why is this such a good deal? It really wasn't that great of a deal, but it was an okay deal.
Yeah.
We really wanted the box. I wanted the box. I was like, this is the box.
And we had started following kind of that trend of van life, and we knew we didn't want an RV. We didn't need that much space, but we did need to be able to stand in it. So that's what brought us to the box truck kind of thing, and Rhett had found it, so we started building it out. It took us probably 2+ years. I mean, it's a work in progress, so we're still doing little things here and there, but I'm finally happy with where we lay our heads. It feels like home. When I go on work trips, I'm happy to come back, and that tells me it's what we were looking for.
Okay, so this is the cockpit of Eve. We haven't done much up here. In fact, if we have done anything, it's to try to keep it looking semi like a work vehicle. We've got an old reclaimed filing cabinet back there that holds the majority of my hand tools and small stuff like that. That was actually, when we got rid of stuff, Ash had hard trouble with her clothes. My trouble was tools. What I was able to keep kept in there. What you see up here, it's kind of my really crappy version of a spaceship. I've got all sorts of monitors and custom stuff to let me monitor the truck when it's running. But it's gotten us around the country, one full time. I'm not sure if it'll make another one, but we'll try. A lot of people are kind of curious about how the air conditioning got done. And all it is this is your basic window unit. That would be where the front normally, like the inside is. Just pulled that piece off, and I built a little box out of some leftover foam. And this is the back of same type of stuff the back doors are made out of. It's called aluminum sandwich board, to give it a kind of like, oh, this was already there feature, and not like make it out of plywood and be like, oh, this is obviously some type of secondhand stuff. So one of those buckets catches the air conditioned condensate, which in Florida is a substantial amount. You never really have to worry about water in Florida if you have sunshine, because this thing will pump out, especially during the summertime, 5+ gallons a day of water from the sky. The other one is just where our gray water normally flows to. This is just where we keep the ladder that lets me get up on the roof, scrub the solar panels off. Back here, we've got a pull-out ramp, and it's really nice when we're somewhere we can put the sawhorse up, and then you've got like a 16-foot table outside. It's not the cleanest thing, but you throw a couple of table mats on it and whatever, you got a lot of space for working outside when it's nice. It also allows me to ride the motorcycle up there and park the motorcycle when we're traveling from place to place, or roll the kitchenette out. My time is what I value most. I think that's the most valuable resource really almost anybody has. Even if you don't think your time is worth a lot, your time is worth a lot. And to be able to have the majority of it for myself and those that I love, and not have to give it away doing something that I hate is what keeps me focused on kind of smaller living like this, not having a whole lot of things. The positive sides definitely far outweigh the negative sides, otherwise we wouldn't be doing it.
We hope to meet more of you guys on the road. Thanks.